no, 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 no. I, yes, I did say I will use that song for an intro, but I was just kidding. I can't play that song on YouTube. Why? First of all, copyright infringement, and the lyrics of that song will probably get me kicked off YouTube. Sorry. Sorry, folks. Production team. Okay, let's work on another song. Until then, let's let it rip. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Ronald Ray here, your boy with a cornbread accent. Welcome you to this week's episode of Wrestling Go Friday Night. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and I wasn't quite as ready as I thought I was. Um, it's kind of the reason I do the intro package, because it's not better to pick it up live. Just gotta have that little bit of moment to prepare myself. But anyway, of course, I don't care about that. Who cares? Anyway, yes, welcome to Wrestling Gold Friday Night. If you're checking this out live, feel free to join me in the chat, ask a question, leave a comment about anything I discussed tonight, or just be friendly and give a friendly little hello, and I'll respond accordingly. Also, if you dig this show and are entertained by it, click that thumbs up button. Lets me know you like it. And be a champ if you're not a subscriber yet. Click on that subscribe button along with the notification bell right there to let you know when my content is up and available. Let's see. Yes, today is Friday. You know what time it is. Time to salute those folks who worked hard this week, uh, either in a nice office or out in the cold. Y'all get much respect. Wherever you're a janitor or a CEO or managing a company or owner of a company, you get the same amount of love, because don't think people don't know how hard it is from be a janitor, or nobody knows how hard it is really to run a company. Um, Also, if you're one of these people who haven't worked this weekend, salute you folks too, because we uh, it, I appreciate. I think a lot of people do appreciate your hard work. Those people who are working, restaurant jobs, or just having to, work at, construction, or policemen, firemen, whatever they got to do this weekend to put food on their plate, or food on the table for their family, and roofs over their head. And hey, it's getting cold, so keeping that heat on, keeping that electricity on. Salute all those people. So that being said, cheers. Yes, I am mighty thirsty. I thought I fixed the static a while ago, but let's not go there. Anyway, let's see what else has happened this week. Yeah, I usually kind of stall a little bit. Just gathering around, wait for other folks, which I'm kind of 10 minutes into this already. 15 minutes. Oh yeah, had the countdown clock. But yes, bars are working people. Appreciate you all, and appreciate you folks checking me out tonight for some Wrestling Gold Friday night, where we talk about the yesteryears of pro wrestling, classic wrestling stuff. Back when wrestling was wrestling, and wrestling was real. Wrestling was real. Damn it! Before that, Vince McMahon came in and screwed everything up. And you know what? Some things were made better. Some things were made worse. Let's be honest. Uh, I really have it like when I grew up watching wrestling, and I've discussed this before. You know that don't this should put this at the end of the program, but I might just do that. But I'll talk more about this later. If you're in the chat, you're hearing me. Uh, please remind me to repeat this later. But I was spoiled as a wrestling fan growing up. We had not only at one time, you know, when I was really starting to follow wrestling, Black Friday or Black Saturday done happen, and now Jim Crockett ran or had the rights to use WTBS 17. So we had from 605 to 805 on that. Flip it over to WATL Channel 36 in Atlanta and join Superstars Wrestling, where we had Mid South UWF, World Class, some WWF for a while. That cut off, they came back. Uh, Continental, Memphis, Puerto Rico. Uh, I said, mention Memphis. Yeah, just all these great promotions. And, and like I said, if you was a wrestling fan back then, you were really spoiled, seeing a lot of great. Anyway, more on that later. We always, as we always do, we start off with this week or today in wrestling history. I don't know why I want to say this week. Today in wrestling history, we're going to discuss everything that happened, or most of the stuff that happened on this day in wrestling. Of course, today is December 13th. Yes, Friday the 13th. Oh, I seen a cool, saw a cool meme uh, today, and I shared. If you follow me on, well, I don't think I shared it on my Facebook. I'll share it on Facebook later. Uh, basically, I never seen the movie Titanic. Refused to watch it. Just have my reasons. Nothing. It just wasn't for me. But it has Leonardo DiCaprio's character and the one chicken, and they're on that piece of wood, and on the caption it says that the end of Titanic that we wanted, and of course it has Jason Voorhees from Friday, the first Friday 13th, popping up out of the water, and I thought it was pretty cool. So anyway, yes, today is Friday 13th, which means I gotta go watch a Friday 13th movie right after this. Uh, but let's get the thing started here. On this date in 1974, I'm probably going to butcher this name. Tony Inoki goes to Pakistan and defeats Akram Pielewang, nephew of the Great Gama. Inoki was the first wrestler to be a member of that family in the ring in Pakistan. So this a huge feather in his cap too, because I think this is when he was really starting to begin uh, New Japan Pro Wrestling. So he definitely needed uh, some street cred, basically. So uh, they obviously did the honors for him in Pakistan. Let's Sorry, folks. Couple things around. All right, here we go. On this date in 1977, Ole Anderson teamed up with Jacques Rene. What's doing that? He teamed with Jacques Rene Goulet to win the NWA Georgia Tag Team titles from Tommy Rich and Stan Hansen. This match took place in Macon, Georgia. And that's a very young Tommy Rich and a fairly young, he's young Stan Hansen too. He was probably a little more. He probably had a, I think, maybe 4 or 5 years on Tommy Rich at the time, and Tommy Rich probably 2 years into it, I think, because uh, anyway, God dang it! Oh, leave me alone. Oh, okay. Sorry about that, folks. Had some antivirus stuff popping up. Basically, trying to sell. Don't you hate that? You're sitting there, you're trying to do whatever on a computer, and something pops up. I don't know why. It doesn't really do this on my laptop. It does this on my desktop a lot. Now, it's usually something in the corner that might give me a warning about something, then I go and correct it. But this is just some kind of sales thing. Trying to sell me on something. Anyway, yeah. I think here, if somebody in the chat knows when Stan Hansen started and Tommy Rich started, but I think I use a Google machine. I do have a Google machine. I'm baffled, and I gotta find out. That's just the way I am. Stan the Lariat Hansen. Let's see. Stan Hansen, yes, 75 years old. Actually, I didn't know this till a few years ago. If I remember correctly, somebody said Stan Hansen was my mom's favorite wrestler, so therefore definitely a legend. Let's see. Okay. Oh, so debut. According to this, he debuted in 1973. Let's see, born in 49. I'm not. Let's see. So, let's see. Stan Hansen started in 73. I thought Stan Hansen must have started before Tommy. Let's see. Stan's 75, so Tommy's 68, so that makes him a few years, about 7 years older. It's 74. So actually, Tommy was the veteran. It's just Stan Hansen was just a little bit older. And, sorry, sometimes you just gotta find things out for yourself. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, they did lose those tag team championships to Ole Anderson and Jacques Rene Goulet, which for me, I didn't know that till I knew Rene Goulet wrestled a little bit in Georgia. I watched that. I think it was like 1980, 81, something like that. And he was in tag team. Seemed to be a pretty good wrestler. I think he went on to be an agent or something like that in the WWF after his career was over with. All right. On this date in 1979, All Japan Pro Wrestling and Tokyo, Japan Sumo Hall drawing 12,000 people. On that night, Terry and Dory Funk Jr. defeated Abdullah the Butcher and the Sheik to win the 1979 Real World Tag League Tournament. Uh, Other matches that night, Wahoo McDaniel and Frank Gill defeated Great Kojika, Kojika Otoshi Okuma, uh, Mr. Wrestling 2, and the Masked Strangler. Not up to date on the Masked Strangler's career, but according to this, it was Jose Rivera under the mask. They beat Tenru and Akahishi Takachiho. I can't do Japanese names. Sorry. Toru Kamada. I know that name because I've heard plenty of times. And Kitaro Oki defeated Rocky Hara and Tiger Taguchi. Great Baba and Jobo Tsuda defeated Mil Mascaras and Dos Caras. And of course, Terry and Dory Funk defeated Abdullah and the Sheik. On this date, and 1981, again in All Japan Pro Wrestling, Sumo Hall drawing again 12,000 people. Bruiser Brody and Jimmy Superfly Snuka teamed up to defeat Terry and Dory Funk Jr. for that to win the 1981 Real World Tag League Championship. I think this was either the first or only one he won, I do believe. Other matches on that card was Atsushi Onita went to Broadway with Ricky Steamboat. Shinichiro Tenru and Asura Hara defeated Umasuki and the Super Destroyer. Super Destroyer, of course, was Scott Irwin. Great Baba and Tomo Tsuda battled Tiger GC and Professor Ito to a double count. On this day in 1982, in the Mid South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee, drawing 5,465. Bill Dundee won a elimination match. Also in the match were the Angel, Dream Machine, Bobby Eaton, Carl Fergie, Bobby Fulton, Spike Huber, Dutch Mantel, Bad Motherfucker. I can't be big elimination match. I imagine it's a or Royal Rumble. Imagine it was a Battle Royal and Dutch Mantel, Bad Motherfucker didn't win. Somebody must have cheated. Anyway, Rick McGraw, Steve Riggles, Sabu, not the original Sabu, Coco Samoa, Adrian Street, and Sweet Brown Sugar, which was Coco Beware. Mid American Champion Jerry Roberts, Jacques Rougeau, defeated Apocalypse, Mike Boyer. Southern Champion Terry Taylor defeated Jesse Barr. Of course, Jesse Barr grew up to be Jimmy Jack Funk. And the Sheep Herders, Jonathan Boyd and Luke Williams, defeated the Fabulous One, Steve Kern and Stan Lane for the Southern Tag Team Champions. Main event that night, Jerry Lawler defeated Jimmy Hart in a steel cage match. Also in 1982, All Japan Pro Wrestling and Tokyo, Japan Sumo Hall, drawing 11,000 people this time. This time it was Terry and Dory Funk Jr. defeated Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody by disqualification to win the 1982 Real World Tag League Tournament. They didn't give me more matches and more names for me to butcher, so we're safe. We're good. All right, on this date in 1988, AWA presented Super Clash 3 in Chicago, Illinois UIC Pavilion, drawing 1,672 fans. This is also a pay-per-view. This was, I think, the first and only AWA pay-per-view. Of course, AWA partnered up with the CWA, the Championship Wrestling Association, Memphis Wrestling, and World Class Championship Wrestling. Little backstory here. Well, we'll wait to get to the main event part. We'll discuss Hector Chavo and Mondo Guerrero, of course, Eddie Guerrero's brothers, defeated Cactus Jack and the Rock Roll RPNs, Tommy Lane and Mike Davis. Of course, Cactus Jack, Nick Foley. Yeah, started like 87, 88. I guess the Cactus Jack thing started like around 88. And yeah, he was crazy then. He was doing that elbow from the apron to the floor. Then went on to do crazier, more hardcore stuff. Eric Embry defeated Jeff Jarrett. I do believe that's for the light heavyweight championship, even though it didn't say here. Jimmy Valiant defeated Wayne Bloom. Texas champion, the Iceman King Parsons defeated Brickhouse Brown. Uh, Another guy who doesn't get talked to about both these guys. I mean, I guess I know Brickhouse. He went to Mid South for a little bit. I don't know if he did WWF at any time. Gotta really look at his, but I think I mean he did a shoot interview, and let's just say sometimes he kind of made it sort of excuse why he was late or did no shows a few times. Basically, I'm not going to use his exact words, but basically he was with female companion. He was doing things with him that he thought, why do I need to go to the show? I got everything I need right here. So he wouldn't really make it to the show. Iceman Parsons did the UWF. I think he was in Portland too for a little bit. As far as actually doing anything, also in Mid Atlantic, did a little bit there, but I guess his great success did come from when he wrestled in World Class. Turned heel actually in the UWF, and Dude had the best interviews or best promos, or at least one of the best at the time, and didn't never really didn't read Rocky Maivia or Dwayne Johnson's book. Haven't really heard him say anything, but come on, dude. You know you got Rudy Poo from him. You got a few things from him, but the one thing was uh he would end it off go. Mama says that bees that way sometimes. He did that for Downtown Bruno started. Downtown Bruno started doing it, and he kind of took off with it. Uh, but he was the first one to say that. Like I said, when he turned heel and did those promos, he was quite entertaining. Not sure why he didn't venture off into say like Jim Crockett or WCW or anything after that. Just kind of stayed in Texas, and he did go to Memphis. Would actually partner with Brickhouse Brown as the Blackbirds. Pretty decent tag team, but not sure why he didn't really venture off anywhere else. You need to go watch his shoot review, see what he has to say about things. Been wanting to watch his, but for some reason I just never got around to it. I think I can find it on YouTube. Anyway, another match. We had mixed six-man action here. Ricky Rice and Derek Dukes, known as the Top Guns. They were supposed to be their big babyface tag team. Ricky Rice, you don't hear much about anymore. There you do Derek Dukes. Ricky Rice had a pretty good drop. That's what I remember. But anyway, they would team with Randy Richter, and they would go on to defeat Bad Company, which is Paul Diamond and Pat Naga. Definitely underrated tag team. Uh, didn't really get their due in the WWF when they were basically Sato left. They brought Diamond in, put him in a mask, called Kato, and team with Pat Tanaka. But I, when sometimes you can look at a wrestler and go, wait a minute, that physique and way he moves, it's kind of, that's got to be Paul Diamond. Why would they put a mask on. You kind of even at that age, let's see, 12 at the time, and I was like, kind of looks like. Of course, at that time, you always, when the Mask Wrestler appeared, when you were that age, you're like, that's got to be somebody. You always try and guess who it was, and after years of thinking, yes, that's got to be Paul Diamond. And even at that time, it's like, why don't they just come back? Because again, I talked about this a lot of times. Uh, uh, I hate it when people go to WWF and change the name. Joe King, what's up, brother Ron? What's up, brother Joe? What's going on? Yeah, kind of like Max Moon. They put Paul Diamond in the Max Moon outfit, but you can tell by his eye because where that mask was designed, you can tell by his eyes that was Paul Diamond. Um, I think that was originally meant for Conan to do, but something happened. Just money wise, or who knows what happens. I wasn't there. But even at that time, I was like, just take that mask off and be Bad Company again because they kicked ass as Bad Company. But anyway, they did team with Medusa Michele, who was the AWA Women's Champion at the time, of course. Medusa Michele, Medusa, Alundra Blaze, that's her right there. Yes, a former AWA Women's Champion. Let's see, Greg Gagne defeated Ronnie Garvin via countout to win the AWA TV title. Greg Gagne and Ronnie Garvin, I do believe, the only two people to hold that championship. This Syrian terrorist won a street fight lingerie battle royal. Also in that match was Bambi, Peggy Lee Leather, Laura Lynn, Brandy May, Malibu, Nina, Pocahontas, and Luna Vachon. Sergeant Slaughter defeated Colonel De Beers in a boot camp match for the World Class Championship Wrestling Tag Team Championship. The Samoan SWAT team, Samu and Fatu. Yes, Fatu is the who years later become known as Rikishi, the father of the Uso brothers. Some again, man, you just go up down this list. There's some like this especially tag team. Samoan SWAT team again. You got after this, of course. This, come on, let's be honest. After this, after this, after this, um, go check out some Samoan SWAT team. They were pretty brutal. But anyway, they defeated Michael Hayes and Steve Cox. Steve Cox had a little bit of promise. I think he came in and they came in the UWF and they built him up as maybe Bill Watts' and Steve Dr. Death Williams' protege. Then UWF went under. Nothing really happened to him. Then when Michael Hayes needed a tag team partner to go against the Freebirds, then Buddy Roberts managed Samoan SWAT team. He brought in Steve Cox in, and then once Michael Hayes came back to NWA / WCW, Steve Cox disappeared again. Not sure whatever happened to him after that. Wahoo McDaniel defeated Manny Fernandez in an Indian strap match. And here it is, the big story here. AWA World Heavyweight Champion Jerry the King Lawler defeated Kerry Von Erich, who was the World Class Championship Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. Defeated him. It was a title unification match. The referee stopped the match due to Von Erich's excessive bleeding. Very controversial finish here because it's like, okay, you got that's the image you see. That's the end of the match right there. You see that Lawler's head or Lawler's shoulders are on the mat, but yet and Terry's Iron Claw, of course, but Terry's got a lot of bleeding, and that's where the ref stopped the match. probably didn't not the greatest finish, but one of those deals where if I remember the story correctly, and please correct me if I'm ever wrong, when they was in the back discussing the match, of course, Kerry, I mean, they already knew the finish, and Kerry had a blade on his paper on his finger, and under his arm itched, so he scratched it with the blade on. I'm pretty sure honest mistake. I don't think about it. I mean, I've done stuff like that. Well, okay, I didn't never tape a blade to myself because I was going to choose at work and and scratch myself, but I like let the pen in or had a pencil and start scratching, and all of a sudden I got a mark on my shirt or something like that. About this pain. But yeah, the first thing that they done in the match, Lawler rammed his uh, arm under his arm underneath on the turnbuckle. That caused it to bleed, and uh, so that little spot, Lawler, that was Lawler's idea. It's like, well, we can get by with that. Well, I just do this move, and that was explaining him bleeding uh, under his arm. Uh, and of course, main event Rock and Roll Express. Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson battled Jimmy Golden and Robert Fuller to a double count. Uh, yeah, I mean, up and down, a lot of talent on this card. But I think that main event and that way that the finish ended up, um, it probably even when I watched it, I'm like, how did they do? Even though I did, no offense to Von Erich fans, I did want Jerry Lawler to win the match, but it's like the way they did it's like, okay, I understand that you kind of want to protect both people, but somebody's got to win. Got to have somebody win, or everybody's going to have that sour taste in their mouth if it's another one of these, double, or time limit draw or double count out or some kind of spot finish. Uh, but basically, Jerry Lawler did beat Kurt Hennig for the AWA Championship. Later on, it's like, look, I'm going to open challenge to everybody. Hulk Hogan, the WWF champion, challenge you, Ric Flair, NWA champion. Let's just have a match to unify these championships. And supposedly the only person made the uh, answer to the challenge was Kerry Von Erich, who was the World Class Championship Wrestling Association World Heavyweight Champion. And so he won that night. They had a unification belt. And this is pretty much, I guess, uh, not sure that could have been okay. The final nail was getting ready to hammer in the coffin of the AWA. Uh, supposedly, I don't know for sure. Went there, but supposedly there's some people didn't get paid and all this other stuff, and it just didn't. This didn't do as well. I mean, like I said, the UIC Pavilion only drew 1,672 people. Not really setting the world on fire, but great freaking card. A lot of talent on this card. Of course, Ronnie Garvin, he wasn't going to think. I think in his interview, he said, I got, that's during the time where it's like, hey, I got to make sure, on any kind of TV, I got to make sure I look good. On a show, yeah, well, do whatever I need, but hosting on TV, got to make sure you look good. He was the heel at the time, had the TV belt. And I was like, oh, I got to drop it back to Greg Gagne. Well, he was going back to the or not going back, going to the WWF, I believe. And but he didn't want to get pinned, so I was like, okay, count me out. Here's your belt. See ya. Um, I think I do remember. I was pretty disappointed. I think Wendy Richter and Medusa Pacelli could have a match by themselves, and since they were very much pushing Ricky Rice and Derek Dukes, Top Guns, as their babyface tag team. I'm not sure why they didn't just have a tag team title match between them and Bad Company. Again, Bad Company was such. All right, let's keep moving here. On this date in 1989, NWA presented Starrcade 89 in Atlanta. Future Shock. This took place at the Omni, of course, drawing 6,000 people, shown live on pay-per-view. Basically, this was a round robin. Okay, you folks know about the Continental Classic going on in AEW. This is what this is. It's basically kind of the round robin tournament set up by a point system, except for you had a singles division and a tag team bracket. So, uh, Rick and Scott Steiner defeated Doom, who was Ron Simmons and Butch Reed by countout. Lex Luger pinned Steen. Road Warriors, Hulk and Animal defeated Doom. Ric Flair pinned the Great Muta. Rick and Scott Steiner defeated the Road Warriors, which was going to be a yeah. I was about to say this was definitely one of those. Again, kind of like the Battle Bowl I discussed last week. I dig the concept, but it did not need to be on the start. This could have been another pay per view or some kind of house show or something like that. But anyway, one of the marquee matchups that a lot of people really wanted to see was the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott. They defeated the Road Warriors. Sting defeated the Great Muta. The Samoa Savage, who was Samu or the Tonga Kid in the WWF, and Fat Dude defeated Doom. Lex Luger went to Broadway with Ric Flair. Savage and Fat Dude defeated Rick and Scott Steiner by DQ. Lex Luger defeated Great Muta by disqualification. Road Warriors beat. Basically, this is basically the Samoan SWAT team at this time was Savage, Fatu, and Samu. I think I said the wrong name for Savage. But yeah. Anyway, at that time the Samoan SWAT team was a 3-man team at the time. Anyway, the Road Warriors defeated Savage and Fatu to win the Iron Man Tag Team Tournament or the Iron Team Tournament. Sting wound up pinning Ric Flair to win the Iron Man Tournament champion. So this is supposed to have been, part of that. They were going to push Sting, and what you see in the Clash of Champions. They kicked him out of the Horsemen. He was going to go to, I think it was Wrestle War, I believe, and defeat Ric Flair, but that's when he damaged his knee. So that that championship run kind of got stalled a little bit till Sting got his knee surgery, got better, rehab, and all that, and defeated Ric Flair at the Great American Bash. Yeah, this is my least favorite too. I remember when I first got the WWE Network, I did watch all the Starrcades. This one was like I say, to me, even at that time, I was like, okay, Starrcade needs to be like WrestleMania. It's this big event. You had your tag team championship, whatever fuse was going on at the time. Sell at Starrcade. Not sure why they try to do these concept things like this one, Future Shock and Battle Bowl, the Lethal Lottery at Starrcade. I think a Lethal Lottery Battle Bowl thing, it could have been done on a separate pay per view, not at Starrcade. Sort of, like I said, sort of kind of going back watching it now. Even though when I'd seen it as fans, like Starrcade presents the Lethal Lottery Battle Bowl, tell me the rules. Well, they said the rules and And I'm like, this shouldn't be a Starrcade. Starrcade should be like WrestleMania. But uh, just like nobody listens to me. Um, but yeah, I just it didn't set well with me. Time that when I first seen this was going on, I was like, this could have been a separate pay per view. This could have been a Clash of Champions. They had a Clash of Champions. This could have been a Clash of Champions, something like that. Yeah, more like several weeks on TV with. Yeah, I mean, basically, yeah, this is almost pretty much the same concept as the uh, Continental Classic, which I have just no interest in because don't we already have a? And I discussed this on the AEW Dynamite recap show, which is up now. Watch it after this. Uh, and I think I discussed it a little bit on last night's spot show. But yeah, this one here, I was like, and poor Great Muda, he didn't score any points, but I think at this point he was almost on his way out. Um, I think it was short time later that he would drop the TV championship to Arn Anderson. Then the blow off match for the Horsemen and JTEX Corporation. What happened? Great Muda went back to Japan. That dude could have been a huge American. Uh, I mean, he became a huge star in Japan, but uh, gosh, almost. I mean, this is like later on, of course. Uh, yeah, the final points on the big show. Yeah, they could have done. I mean, yeah, they could have had the. Uh, well, they could have had this on TV a few times or a few weeks, then had the finals as start. But you didn't, because I kind of get where they was wanting to go here. They wanted to push Sting. This is give that uh, more the push of Sting, so you wouldn't have a world title match at Starrcade unless they didn't have. They could have had Ric Flair against maybe. They could have had Ric Flair against Great Muta um, for the world title. I was about to say Bud Sawyer, but yeah, I don't think that would have worked out too good. But I think at the time Flair Muta probably could have been a decent Starrcade match, maybe. I don't know. This off the top of my head. Um, but yeah, the Muta did come back and win Battle Bowl in '92, and went on to win the NWA World Title, which was, of course, '92. It was WCW at the time, and nobody really cared about the NWA World Championship. Uh, this is when they did, brought back the NWA World Tag Team titles into the NWA World Championship, even though you had a WCW Tag Champions and WCW World Champion, yada yada. I think the only thing, the ones that really unified was the tag team belts. Then whatever happened there, NWA uh, went away again. Uh, but yeah, like I said, I wasn't too keen on this. Forgot who they were. Forgot who they were. A little stack in my headphones. Forgot who they were feuding with. I think there was Road Warriors feuding with a little bit of everybody. Maybe they could have done that Steiner versus Road Warriors. Um, but anyway, I digress. Uh, Also on this date in 1989, the WWF had a house, or actually a TV taping in Huntsville, Alabama at the Von Braun Civic Center. The big thing about this one, oh, go through the pictures. Yeah, there's like Luger at the time, 275. And I just watched it while I was trying to set everything up. I watched that like a squash match with Lex Luger. I think in that match he did more moves in that one match than he did uh, during and after his WWF and later WCW. Uh, Actually, Ole Anderson's book talks about he was really wanting to push, uh, get a, and, do an angle and do a program with the Steiner brothers versus Road Warriors. But there was like a house show where Hawk and Animal they didn't really want to do business, and Steiners who can very much take care of themselves, collegiate wrestlers and all that good stuff, and they kind of held themselves pretty well against the Road Warriors. And always said, "Well, it's really you done beat them, so I kind of draw money with you guys now, even though it wasn't on TV or anything." Oh yeah, but uh, but yeah, it, Prime Road Warriors, Prime Steiner Brothers could have been good stuff. Uh, like I said, Muda there, he could have been maybe a little later in the WWF. Gosh, no telling how big a star he could have been. I mean, just that gimmick alone, and if they did like they did in New Japan, um, um, do like they did in New Japan, where he was Kinjimoto, uh, just doing regular matches till he had to get that revenge on somebody and go to that dark place, and that's when he became a Great Muta. The whole Green Mist, the different costumes, the different entrances. Uh, I think they had comic books of the Great Muta in Japan. So imagine they did that with some Great Muta here. Uh, I think it would have been box office. I would say that would be as far as anything in Japan. It could have really well, especially. I mean, this. I mean, okay, not sure about now. Maybe now, but especially when the Marvel movies were like white hot, and then bring in someone like the Great Muta, the guy who wrestled what he did, uh, and had that mystique and all that. I think they should have done the same thing with Finn Balor, but something there just fell flat. Uh, Not sure if they, because Finn was a little small, uh, not 6 foot. I mean, at least Muda was, I think, 6 foot, 6'1". I mean, not tall, but at least 6 foot or over. That's how tall he was. But at least how much they built him as. But man, come in and especially that. Yeah, so it been cartoony a little bit, but uh, but watching him work in the ring, I think it would definitely got over, uh, especially with the kids and probably up to the preteens. Yeah, I mean that's true too. They ain't kill either one's mystique, but uh, and this is Ole Anderson we're talking about. He don't care about mystique. He cares about drawing money. So therefore, he knew Steiners versus Road Warriors would have drew money at that time. Uh, but I mean, you had to turn one of them heel. I guess. I mean, we know how good of a talker Scott Steiner was. We didn't find out until years later what a great talker Scott Steiner was as a heel. Road Warriors, it was, especially at this time. Anyone they they turned heel on Dusty Rhodes and it didn't work. They turned heel on, or they initially turned heel on Sting. Then they attacked Dusty Rhodes, and it didn't work. I think within a few months they were baby faces again because it just didn't work. Fans pretty much turned them back baby face. But at that time, it wasn't. I mean, would it really kill their any kind of mystique? I mean, because the matches would have been done on pay per view, maybe on house shows, and it would have been a 50-50 feud a little bit. Then uh, you know, say Warriors had the Road Warriors had the tag belts, Steiners beat them for it, and Road Warriors come back and beat them for it. So that way you really don't really kill any kind of mystique. As long as you don't have somebody that's overbearing the. I mean, because you got to remember this is 1980. This is the 1980s, 89, early 90s. When Steve Williams and Terry Gordy faced each other, uh, people popped, people dug it, and it was just two big tough guys that slung it out. In this case, it'll be four big dudes slugging it out. And I think Steiners would probably gave the Road Warriors way better of a match than skyscrapers at the time. Uh, but like I said, I digress. I mean, um, and yeah, I think that's what Ole seen didn't happen. Road Warriors didn't want to give, so Steiners took uh, because Steiners were no pushover. Scott neither Scott nor Rick was, and they like I said they had that collegiate wrestling background uh, and of course like I said this is according to Ole Anderson's book. Um, this is what he was going to build up to, but he's like, you know what? I I, I know in his book he said, okay, pretty much Steiner's when they're stretched them, and I think that's when Ole is, despite what people might think of Ole was a, if given Ole, let Ole be Ole as a booker and keep the uh, what's Kip Fry or what's that other guy nobody likes, the pizza guy, um, Jim Herd. Keep Jim Herd out of it. I think he would have done all right, with this feud. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Jim Herd. Yes, off of my head, Jim Herd. He would have drawn out a nice little, because only hello, Brenda Watson. Um, Ole was kind of like Bill Watts. He just, I mean, look at Mid South. Look at, I mean, especially pre Rock and Roll Express when Junkyard Dog was the top guy. He had to battle a tough guy. He had to lose some, win some. But if you're a babyface, especially at that time, if you lose, it's got to be because of cheating or whatever. And it could work there too, um, but yeah. But once he seen there was going to be no give or take, only get okay. Like I said, Warriors didn't want to get the Road Warriors didn't want to give, but Steiners were willing to take. So I think I think that's probably the real reason he squashed it, not because okay, this one match. He just realized that this ain't gonna work. Unfortunately, uh, maybe a little different egos at the time. Might, of course, there's the final match of that night, and Nick Patrick, your referee. Yes, that's a young Sting. That's a let's say young Ric Flair, but had the hair, Great shape at the time. Uh, anyway, also on that night, like I said, mentioned, the big thing about that TV taping that WWF had in Huntsville, Alabama, was the Colossal Connection. Andre the Giant and Haku defeated the WWF World Tag Team Champions Demolition to win the tag belts. Other matches on that show was Bandage Brown defeated Mark Young, Hart Foundation defeated the Bolsheviks by disqualification. Roddy Piper pinned Tony Burton. I think Tony Burton was the Dirty White Boy. Dusty Rhodes pinned Mark Davis. Yes, so Dusty wasn't even in the NWA in '89. He had done, went to the WWF. Let's see. Dino Bravo defeated Reno Riggins. Hercules defeated Conquistador #1, and that Conquistador was Jose Luis Rivera. Rick Rude pinned Mario Mancini. Brutus the Barber Beefcake defeated George South. Coco Beware defeated another longtime Rocket enhancement talent. And enhancement talent just about wherever he went. Alan Martin. Mr. Perfect pinned Mark Reagan. Big Bossman defeated Tony Montana. The Bushwhackers, the Sheepers. Luke Williams and Butch Miller defeated Tommy Siegler and Iron Mike Sharp. Greg Valentine and the Honky Tonk Man. Were they Rhythm and Blues at this time? Anyway, they defeated Paul Roma and Jim Gorman. The Rockers defeated Mike Davis and Lee Pete. Tito Santana defeated Iron Mike Sharp. The Canadian Earthquake, John Tenta, defeated Mike Shelton. Hacksaw Jim Duggan defeated Tony Burton. Ted DiBiase defeated Dale Wolf. And Rick Martel defeated Jerry Monty. Let's see. Sad news on this date in 1993. Larry Cameron, who wrestled for Stampede Wrestling and briefly for WCW, dies of a heart attack while on tour in Germany. And I think this is another guy that he was in Calgary, and a few people who wrestled there and wrestled him and was around here. I think if I remember correctly, they always put him over pretty well. I don't see too many bad people talk about him. I know I remember seeing him WCW and read about him in magazines. I'm like, I thought he was pretty good for big guy and stuff like that, but just didn't do anything. I don't think he just didn't get over well or what. And on this date in 1998, the WWF presented Rock Bottom in Your House. What's this in your house? Anyway, WWF Rock Bottom pay per view in Vancouver, British Columbia, at the General Motors Place, drawing 17,677. Dark match. The WWF Light Heavyweight Champion Dwayne Gill defeated Matt Hardy. And another dark match. Kevin Quinn defeated Brian Christopher. And the final dark match was Hunter Hearst Hensley pinning Draws. Oh, one more dark match, excuse me. New Age Outlaws defeated. Hold on. I need. Anyway, let's see. New Age Outlaws Billy Gunn Road Dogg defeated APA Baruch and Bradshaw by disqualification. Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown defeated Godfather and Val Venus. Steve Blackman defeated Owen Hart by countout. Ed Christian and Greg Gangrel. The Brood defeated Al Snow, Scorpio, and Bob Holly, collectively known as the Job Squad. Goldust defeated Jeff Jarrett by disqualification. As per stipulation, Deborah Michael had a strip. World Tag Team Champions New Age Outlaws defeated Big Boss Man and Ken Shamrock. Mankind, Jack Mick Foley defeated WWF Heavyweight Champion Rocky Maivia via submission. However, Maivia retained the belt due to reversal by Vince McMahon. So the corporate thing was going on, and Vince McMahon was the probably the number one heel in wrestling, especially at this time. So it made for good TV that he came in and he had his company champion, this time being Rocky Maivia, and therefore it's his company, so he was able to reverse the decision. And the main event of that match, or that pay-per-view, Steve Austin defeated Undertaker in a buried alive. And I think this was a okay pay-per-view. I don't remember. I do remember this is one of the many ones I did see. I don't remember. Can't say I really remember it fondly, but I do remember some of the matches. Some of the matches were pretty good. Here. Now, in the spirit of tomorrow night being the relaunch of Saturday night's main event, thought we'll watch episode 4. Couldn't find the first. I was wanting to really watch the first one, and the second one was available. That had the Uncle Elmer wedding. Hit me up in the chats. Hit me up in the comments if you want to watch that Saturday night's main event. We'll watch that thing on Valentine's weekend or something, or Valentine's week. We'll save that for that. Video here, but like I said, we're gonna watch episode 4 of Saturday night's main event. Yeah, like I said, if you want to watch the wedding thing, we'll hit me up. We'll watch that one. Please remind me. Sometimes I forget stuff. So if you folks really want to watch the wedding edition of Saturday night's main event of Uncle Elmer and I forgot her name. And I remember being a kid, watch that. I'm like, this sucks. So here is the there is a link. Let me know when you're ready. We'll crank everything up. All right, we ready? All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press play now. Python protein drink. Now the thing is, I think at the time, let me tell you, Mean Gene. Oh yeah, I remember there was a time that the WWF or WWF, Superstars of Wrestling on WATL Channel 36 would not show um, the WWF. So sometimes, except for syndication, but sometimes if you want to see, especially Hulk Hogan, because like I said, Hulk Hogan did not wrestle on TV unless it was a Saturday Night's Main Event or a house show. But so the only WWF you see was the syndication, and especially if you want to see Hulk Hogan wrestle, basically Saturday Night's Main Event, because they didn't, the WWF didn't come to Atlanta, and of course, parents really didn't take me to shows at the moment either, because they both had to work and different stuff. So plus we didn't live close to Atlanta at all, and being my age now, I'm like, being in Atlanta or driving in Atlanta can sometimes be a pain in the ass. I'm not much on traffic. Speaking of which, Terry Funk versus Hulk Hogan. And if I ain't mistaken, this was the last match Jesse the Body Ventura was in. I don't think he had any matches after this. I do I do definitely remember this Saturday Night's Main Event. Oh, Vince trying to be all serious and funny. And even though everybody knew Vince McMahon owned it, he didn't he didn't really talk about, especially on TV. He didn't say, "Hey, I'm Vince McMahon, the owner of the WWF." He was just a commentator. And of course, there's Bobby's Brain Heenan. Good God, talking about did it all, man. Was a wrestler. I mean, um, watched the what was it, the third Survivor Series where Bobby Heenan had to substitute for Tully Blanchard. I hate when he was in there. I mean, of course, he probably didn't want to take too many bumps, but man, he took the bump. Yeah, I mean, this is some good stuff at this time, in the WWF. But yeah, if you kind of see about the date there, the Saturday night's main event will be. They would actually do one every 4 weeks. Yes, Ace Cowboy Bob Orton. He had that injured arm for a long time. Let's see. So Hillbilly Jim, he started off in Memphis as Harley Davidson. Uh, Uncle Elmer was a giant hillbilly and had a few gimmicks. He turned heel at one time and had Jimmy Hart manage him. And I believe that's cousin Luke there, and I think he wound up becoming a mood dog at one time. Hey, come on, don't go messing with the country boy. Come on, sing it, chat. Don't go messing with the country boy, country boy, country boy. Don't go messing with the country boy, country boy, country boy. That's the only lines I know. Yeah, I think cousin Luke wound up being a moondog. But Hillbilly Jim came in as a fan, and Hulk Hogan trained him and whatever, gave him his first pair of wrestling boots. There we go, country boy, country, don't go messing with country boy. But yeah, if I remember correctly, this was Ventura's last match. But he was in a very good tag team with Adrian Adonis in the AWA. Basically, Ventura taught Adonis was just before he gained all that weight and all that. So he was probably one of the best, considered one of the best workers at the time. Um, Here comes Roddy Piper. And I say this once, I'll say it a million times. Uh, it's definitely the example of the apple doesn't fall from the tree. As good as Randy Orton is, uh, his dad was very good as well. Yeah, Hill Piper was awesome. I mean, Babyface Piper was good too. He didn't really change his um yeah, Piper Pit was awesome. But Piper on that mic was just another guy who just legendary. Come on, he did the boy. He did the boy. He liked French fried taters. Yeah, Orton was another one of these, or Bob Orton was kind of like Randy. Every blow, every hold, he made it count. Made it mean something. But apparently, Uncle Elmer, if the stories are correct, yeah. Each one of these guys you don't really appreciate till years later. But yeah, Orton's very good. Uh, but apparently Uncle Elmer like to sell cheap rip off Rolexes. Oh, it's breaking down in Tulsa. Oh, 6 men in the ring. Referee got to get a hold of this. Yep. And the tubes. Yeah. I was watching an interview with Hillbilly Jim. Hillbilly Jim said he wasn't a party guy. Uh, he just showed up for work, did his job, and kind of went back to the hotel and whatnot. He didn't go out and party with the boys. That being Hillbilly Jim, that's what he was saying. Hillbilly Jim didn't go out and party or anything like that. He just came in, did his job, and had a job for a long time in the WWF. There's a loop going. Oh, and that's yes, the infamous illegal. Yeah, Holly Davidson didn't party, and the infamous cast of Bob Orton came into play there. But let's feel sorry for him because he had that injury for a long time. But yeah, Bob Orton was, I guess, second guy I knew of that used, or let's see, yeah, I started watching around '85. Yeah, I think Bob Orton was for me the first second person I seen. Yeah, because I think I seen uh, Scott or not Scott Irwin. Yeah, Scott Irwin did a superplex, but Bob Orton did a superplex, and it was a thing of beauty. Yes, I was. a superplex was a finisher at one time, folks. That's not nice. I think it's pretty much known now. As good as WCW wrestled, yeah, the uh, the WWF was awesome, but still at that time, I just preferred the grounded uh, NWA at the time and Continental and Memphis because Memphis had Memphis Continental NWA they had blood. When they had cage matches, they had cage matches that had blood. Overrated blowhard. But yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody knows this. Jimmy Hart did help Jim Johnston write the interest music to a lot of the WWF superstars at the time when they went from doing regular copyrighted uh, uh, when they was doing their own trademark music, in-house music. Jimmy Hart was yeah. I mean, like I said, I watch just about anything, but preferably I would watch the Continentals, like the Memphis better, watch the especially UWF and Mid South. I was just a boy. I like to watch the violence. But I will say, at this time I thought the WWF World Heavyweight Belt looked better than the Big Gold Belt. That's not the wingtip belt. That's the can't really see it. Probably see it later, but yeah, there it is. I, I like that belt better than I did the Big Gold Belt. It's just I liked it. Not sure why. Yeah, it's crazy to think that Real American wasn't really meant for Hulk Hogan. It's meant for Mike Rotunda and Barry Windham, the U.S. Express. But I don't know. Now you can't really imagine Hulk Hogan not having Real American. Yeah, the AWA's world title belt was pretty cool. But that was and yes, believe it or not, yeah, I Tiger was a cool entrance, but I you know I see Linda McMahon learned a lot about uh uh basic copyright laws and stuff like that. So therefore, I think she kind of knew it's like, hey, if we're gonna keep on using Eye of the Tigers and Bad to the Bones and stuff like that, and another one bites the dust, that's gonna cost us more money. The cheaper for us is this uh hire a musician and have Jimmy Hart, pay him maybe pay him a little extra to write some music for uh our talent, and that's what became the wrestling album and the Pile Driver album. Pile Driver. And you notice that I don't I ain't heard it yet, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they mentioned Terry Funk being a former world champion of anything, especially NWA. But yeah, Terry Funk is a former NWA world champion at this time. Terry Funk was a hell of a bump. Referee didn't see that. A little low there, ref. You didn't see that? Come on. Yeah, I mean, and I could probably damn that Jimmy Hart just interfered. But at this age, I didn't really understand the ramifications of this match, or didn't definitely didn't appreciate because I didn't really. Uh, um, I mean, you gotta remember this was no internet at the time or anything like that. But I think 86, I think I did find a book in the school library, kind of discuss different wrestlers and their history, and that's when I found out Terry Funk was a former NWA World Champion. So at the time I watched this here, I didn't understand the ramifications of this. Is hey, this is Terry Funk, a former NWA World Champion, going against the current WWF champion. And of course, Vince wasn't going to mention it, which you didn't really know about that kind of thing at the time. But I understand why would Vince talk about another promotion. He was worried about his company. Uh-oh. You know what's about to happen now. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's time for that big comeback. Shaking it off, shaking it off. He's hunkled up now, brother. I will say Junkyard Dog was also one of my favorites too. So he didn't do the big boot leg drop. He just finished him off with a clothesline, which if I ain't mistaken, was what his move in Japan anyway. I mean, say what you will about Hulk Hogan now and the that's not going to work for me, brother, at WCW time, but at this time, man, Hogan put his work in. I mean, no, it wasn't a long match. It probably wasn't a 5-star match. Excuse me, 5-star match. Well, Mean Gene. man, that's the part of WWF I really didn't like. I mean, it was funny, but it just even at 12 years old, I was like, a little too cartoony. But if I heard again, one of those things where I heard correctly, when he was in his prime, he was probably one of the best heels. A little more serious heel. Oh, yes, the Macho Man. I'm here with Elizabeth. Freaking don't talk about Elizabeth being hot. Let me tell you something, something, something. Oh, that was not nice. Oh, I think George is going to get in trouble here. Yeah. Elizabeth, get your ass back in the kitchen. Make me a sandwich. Want a chicken sandwich, grilled chicken sandwich, Elizabeth? And that's a disqualification. That's what confused me about WWF. It wasn't a every promotion in the world at that time. I think not sure about Japan, but every territory, every promotion, throwing somebody over the top rope. Automatic disqualification. Excuse me. On there. And correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't George Amel still a school teacher as well after he retired from wrestling, or when he wrestled, or when he didn't wrestle? He was a school teacher. Trying to get some digits. Hey, his arm was underneath the ropes. Right. Time for some hanky panky, then you go make me a sandwich, Elizabeth. Yeah. Right. I gotta remember this back in the '80s too, because MTV was popular, so therefore, a lot of promotions would do music videos. This is Billy Ocean. Yeah, Billy Ocean. I like this song back in the day. Guess I'm more of a rock guy, but I know it's a little poppy for me, but I dug the song. Just don't turn your back on Pat Patterson. There's that big avalanche. Cyndi Lauper and Wendy Richter. Lanny Poffo with a moonsault. Oh, what? And that little station, was that Barry Oak? Nikolai. And again, JYD, if it was just stayed in shape and stayed dependable and didn't get into doing those substance abuse. Yeah, music videos used to be fun back in the day. Music was fun back in the day. You just had so much, you know, diversity in like sounds and stuff like that. Not too many people share the same sound, and there's even it's like rock bands. It's like you listen to a band play. It's like okay, it's this band. And you might okay, this sounds like this band, but once a singer sings, it's like okay, I know it's this band. It's got pop music. It's like you knew it was Billy Ocean, you knew it was Prince, you knew it was Michael Jackson, you knew it was Cyndi Lauper, Madonna, or Pat Benatar. It's Shiki Baby. And yes, that's Corporal Kushner. He was really a corporal in the army, I believe. I think was he an airborne ranger? But he did jump out of perfectly good airplanes, and he said that was really him jumping out of the plane and parachuting. Uh, I think unfortunately the guy was supposed to be like a quick replacement for Sergeant Slaughter, which didn't work out for him, but uh, did good for herself in Japan, being Jason in Japan. Yeah, hockey mask Jason. Of course, everybody booed this. We're Americans. We're proud Americans. We don't want to hear no Russian bullshit. Yeah, Durant. Yeah, when Durant song came on. Oh, okay. He was Leatherface, not my bad. Leatherface, not Jason. Who's Jason then? Who cares? But yeah, yeah. I don't know why I was saying he was Jason. My bad. Leatherface. And Volkov, I mean, that's kind of underrated as far as in ring work. I mean, he was more of a kind of a powerhouse and a ground guy. Was a whole lot better in his territory days when he was wrestling the territories. Leaner, big, of course, but a little leaner than he is at this point. She did. Bill fans, shut up, or I suplex you. I'll put you in a camel clutch and I'll humble you. I ain't gonna say what else he was gonna do. This is a family friendly show, sort of. Not really. Oh, was that the boot camp match? Nice. Matches on that set, banger after banger, banger after banger after banger. Now that wasn't so scientific there. Yeah, Magnificent Morocco, Don Morocco. He's another guy who gets spoken pretty well as far as being a good ring technician, especially when younger and leaner. But Steamboat put him over at this point. Say, hey, he's put on some weight, but but wherever you need it, wherever you need him in a match, he was right there. Might be blowing chunks sometimes, but he was right there. Definitely became a fan of Osprey and Omega. Those are two good. I mean, I have no hate for any of those guys. I know I just think Osprey kind of shot himself in the foot when he did that one thing, but we discussed that last night again. But Omega's pretty good. And yeah, when Jim Cardall started to use other music instead of another one bites the dust, that was heartbreaking. But like I said, things you didn't know when you were 12-year old that then you learn later, you kind of understand now. Hasta Fuji. Hey, I think nowadays the age of shooting reviews and stuff like that, I think he's pretty famous for being a big time river. Yeah, yeah, that's what I was saying. Dog was super over in WWF. Uh, I mean, it was super over anytime it was, but unfortunately, he just couldn't became unreliable. One thing, couldn't stay in better shape, and substance abuse. I mean, he was brought in WCW as a potential, Ric Flair opponent, maybe, being WCW slash NWA World Champion at one time. But what definitely wasn't over as he once was, and slow, out of shape. Yeah, I suppose I watched this one documentary one time that was talking about Snuka was originally one being targeted to be the guy, not Hogan. It was going to be Snuka because Snuka was crazy over, especially when he turned babyface. But that whole uh, I got the woman's name, but his girlfriend at the time um, passed away at their hotel room. Could have been because of at Snuka's hands, which that's what a lot of people believe. I have my suspicions as well, but I don't want to say something I might get sued, snood, sued. Yeah, damn crack rock. And I could say I seen the last, I guess, TV appearance of Junkyard Dog. He appeared on ECW's WrestlePalooza that happened at in Marietta, the Cobb County Civic Center. Made an appearance and then Russell just made an appearance. And here comes Steamboat. Here comes the dog again with those big old headbutts, or one big old headbutt. That was it. Yeah, Snuka, good times, brother. Good times. Huh. Well, what was your matches with Don Morocco? Huh. Ah, good times, brother. Good times. Huh. Probably, if it's not the single worst Sheeran review ever, it's got to be top five worst Sheeran reviews ever. Good times, brother. Huh. What was your memories of teaming with Greg Valentine or whoever in Mid Atlantic? Huh. Good times, brother. Good times. Dick Ebersol and this man, George Scott. I forgot what his title was, but he was the booker at the time and longtime booker for Crockett. Uh, but yes, that was Saturday night's main event. Originally aired, or was it aired, or was this recorded December 19th, 1980, Tampa, Florida. Ooh, excuse me. But yeah, like I said, one of the worst interviews I've ever seen was the Jimmy Snuka interview, and that's what it was. Like every question was, uh, hey, what's your memories of this? Oh, good times, huh? But, but yeah, uh, but like I said, I'll repeat this 100 times. Sorry, don't mean to bore you to it, but yeah, around this time was freaking spoiled, especially if you lived in Georgia. It was like or close enough that you get WATL channel 36. You flip it on 17 or WTBS 17. Watch 2 hours of Jim Crockett Promotions from 6 to 7, and float on over to WATL 36, and from 8 o'clock, 3 o'clock, all kinds of wrestling and good wrestling for a long time too. Um, lot a lot of good. But yeah, like I said, I mean, I did watch the Dark Side of the Ring with you know Junkyard Dog. I mean, it's again, I mean, I understand people. Some people just want to party. I'm pretty sure it happens now. They don't want to admit it, but come on, you can't say none of those people party. I can kind of believe a couple people, but all of them, no. I mean, you can't tell me that Ryan Danielson didn't party a little bit before he hooked up with uh, Brie Bella. 'Cause she was a they were what I'm hearing, they were definitely party girls. Uh, I mean, a few things I've seen, not totally. I mean, it's pictures I've seen. Looks like Damian Priest. He loves to go out and party himself. Hook up with the ladies. Which, hey, if I was in his shoes, definitely want to be the same way. Um, John Cena did back in his day. I mean, that's the reason. I think that's one of the reasons he pretty much divorced his first wife. Um, it's like, hey, I know I'm not going to be, faithful. So they got divorced, and he had a few of the divas, and probably a few ladies in the clubs and stuff like that. But they don't talk about. When I watched the Dark Side of the Ring, they about the what was it, the plane ride from hell. And at the end, they're like, well, we don't have, it's good to see, we don't see too much of that in the WWE now. Nah, y'all just somehow keep it buried. Just like a lot of these entertainers, you can't tell me a lot of these, uh, musicians don't party a little. I mean, they probably don't do as much of the drugs. Probably, not cokeheads or, but just party. Go out and have a good, for the majority, go out and have a good time. Have a few drinks. Hook up, I'm pretty sure a lot of them do drugs, but they, I mean, I'm not saying they do. It just won't surprise me. Like I said, gotta pick my words carefully so I won't get sued. Of course, I have nothing to sue for. Uh, anyway, uh, gonna call it a night tonight. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Getting a little hungry now. Been kind of a long week. Well, long week because of rain, but stayed pretty busy at work. But and the last couple of days been pretty busy. So and of course next week get to go back out of town, going to South Carolina. But going to do my best to keep my shows going, especially the live ones. Definitely want to keep those going. Definitely have fun doing this. But I repeat the same thing I said earlier. Hey, appreciate all the ones that joined me in the chat. If you wasn't able to join me in the chat, leave a comment. Let me know if you have any memories of any of the things I talked about this evening. Comment on that, or ask questions, or just simply say hello. I'll answer. I'll reply accordingly. And click that thumbs up button. Lets me know you like it. Also, be a champ and click on that subscribe button. Until then, folks, have a good one. Take it easy. And until next time.
So long from the peach state of Georgia.
Thank you for checking out our P2 Vision. Subscribe to our P2 Vision to watch Ronald Ray's content that covers the sport of professional wrestling from yesterday to today. His weekly content starts off with Wrestling Trivia Tuesday. Every Tuesday, Ronald Ray asks 5 questions about the sport of professional wrestling. So tune in and have some fun. Then it's WWE Monday Night Raw recaps, where he recaps all the action from the Raw brand. Ronald Ray also does an AEW Dynamite recap show where he recaps and has fun doing it. Do you like live streams? Well, join Ronald Ray live on Spot Show Livestream, where he discusses current wrestling. Join the chat and have fun. Spot Show Livestream is on Thursday nights starting at 8 p.m. If current pro wrestling isn't your thing, like all wrestling past and present, or you're a new fan and want to hear how things were back in the day, then tune in to Wrestling Gold Friday night, where Ronald Ray discusses back in the day when wrestling was wrestling, featuring watch-alongs. That's Wrestling Gold Friday night on Fridays starting at 8 p.m.